Recession or recession? What kind of correction can we see?
Look, it's late cycle. It's not about growth. I don't think it hasn't been for a while. I think it's about liquidity, right? And real interest rates are rising and credit spreads are going to widen. So I think you can see a further correction. So you could, in the worst case, if you do get a recession, plus you get real rates going higher, get towards about 3,600 on the S&P. But I don't think it's only about growth. I think at this minute, the numbers are actually going to start getting better in Q2, Q3.
Across the world or only in the US?
In the US. In China, Q2 is going to be diabolical. You're going to get about a 6% annualized correction in China in terms of the economic growth.
So why were we not expecting the ugly China numbers that we had today? If you have a full lockdown, and we were reporting on it, I mean, it was clear to see. Why did we not get it right?
China data has always been extremely volatile. Right? So in terms of whether or not you're seeing the freight data improve, whether or not you're seeing actually the subway traffic improve, these are difficult numbers to put in place. But, you know, also their FAI number, their fixed asset investment number, is always a number that they put in as a residual, which actually lifts the overall numbers. But you see from consumer sentiment, by the way, this is not just China. You've seen this in the US, you've seen this in Europe, you've seen this especially in the UK, which I think is the laboratory of the stagflation thesis, that in fact retail sales have been extremely poor. So the consumer has been on strike in real terms for some time. When I say some time, I mean about 4 quarters now. Since Q2 of 2021, the consumer has been quite weak. What's different now, of course, China is completely different because they have shut down. But in other places, CapEx sentiment is weakening. We'll see this week in the US as well. CapEx sentiment is weakening. But the question is this a garden variety slowdown because inflation is up, or is this a proper recession? I don't think it is.
Does this end well?
Well, look, we are late cycle. We are going to get a recession at some point, but it's not imminent at all. I think the liquidity question is the bigger question than the growth question. And liquidity is tightening, and that's the headwind for the markets. We're coming from a very strong place, so I think there's further to go on market correction.
Can central banks do anything with liquidity?
They need to tighten it. They need to tighten it. The liquidity is not collapsing in a sense of financial markets breaking. Yes, there's a little bit of lack of liquidity in the tips market, in the credit market, but they need to tighten liquidity because inflation is the elephant in the room.